Schools. We aren't grooming kids. And it's weird,
Not
right?
even.
Isn't it fucking so weird? Isn't it so weird?
That's right.
So in this kid was 25. He went to
Yep.
school with us. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he went to school with Zeke and I. So it's not good.
No.
It's not a good look.
I like to think, because I am older than you guys, like, well, you know, my generation definitely is not involved here. We are not culpable. It's all your guys' fault.
I didn't do this shit. So let's see these comments here. And Joseph also said, difficult, not impossible. I love this. I don't like him. Like, I almost want to scrap local stories and just, but no. Difficult, not impossible to scale. Population can be represented in the House. We need elections we can trust and serious consequences for willful violation of our Constitution. I agree with those two last points, right?
I do.
The thing that I struggle with, if you're talking about, we're just going to hit these points throughout the show. We're doing it, Joseph. So the thing that I struggle with, if we're talking about scaling up for the amount of people, we have 330 million people in this country. How much do we scale up? Because it's something like 50,000 people per representative now, right?
Yeah,
it's
like
something to that effect, between 40 or 50,000. That's when, if you have that many more people in your state, you get a new representative. It's something to that effect, right? And we can look it up the exact number. It doesn't totally matter.
Yeah.
But there's 435 people in the House already. They can't fucking get anything done. At what point is 500 or 550 people going to get that job done
Build a bigger
more
house.
effectively? And that's what I don't understand, right? The number thing doesn't seem to matter. The issue I see with the House itself, not the issue, one of the issues is that's where the two-party system comes involved, right? This issue of a larger house works in parliamentary style systems where there are 7, 8, 9, 10 different parties that are there, and you have to work with other people to get a majority to run a government. When there's only two parties and all you need is 7 more dudes, that's not much work, especially if it's the House and you can do it in tiny districts where no one fucking knows about it, right? That is the only way, in my view, that those parliamentary style House systems work, is because there's a more diversity in the systems themselves. Even if there's 4 leftist parties and 5 right-wing parties, there's diversity among those parties. They don't agree on enough things that they have created their own party there that is represented and is recognized nationally in that country. So
2 things. The parliamentary system is generally frowned upon because of the fact that there are too many fractured groups like that, and then a small minority party can essentially just have enough people to gain enough power, and then they still have to build a coalition government, but that still excludes enough people, enough groups of people, caucuses, if you will, that the general argument, not to say that I agree with it, but the general argument against it is that it pushes more people's representation aside, right? Because at the end of the day, only that one controlling party is really going to have the ruling party. You see this a lot in, like, Britain. A lot of the coalition, or even Israel, a lot of the coalition parties that join the one that actually wins the election generally don't get to bring much of their issues and things to the table. A lot of it gets poo-pooed because at the end of the day, you're kind of just there because you want some modicum of power, and so you sign on to this existing government. So that's generally the problem with that compared to the two-party system. But the problem with the two-party system is essentially when party takes over, and then because we have a lot of caucuses and stuff like that within the two-party system that essentially do the same type of deal. They form coalitions and all this stuff to become like the Freedom Caucus is a part of the Republican Party and all that. They're real loose. And we have seen throughout
they come and go all the time.
Yes, and we've seen throughout time that regardless of what caucus, how many caucuses there are, or how many people are all signed up, what really takes power in the two-party system is whether you have that D or the R, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Because the party itself has the power. The caucuses themselves within that party, they have different levels of power based off of how large the caucuses are at various times. Like you said, they come and they go, they ebb and they flow. The progressives right now in the Democratic Party are not the largest caucus in the party, but they are the most powerful for whatever reason. The Freedom Caucus in the Republican Party, it's arguable to say that they have a lot of power within the Republican Party right now, but they definitely have more power than when they were the Tea Party.
Yeah.
And so it comes and goes, but at the end of the day, the problem with the parliamentarian process or system is that there's too many, and that's the argument that they say.
No, I'm just thinking
in the two-party system, inevitably, it doesn't become about the actual, for lack of a better term, caucuses. It becomes about the party itself, and then
Lenny!
That doesn't do anything.
Sorry.
Lonesome Lenny's here.
That made me very happy. Sorry.
That's good. That was it.
No.
Perfect timing.
No. And I don't disagree with you, right? To me, this is where I start to have issues with...
A Southie boy.
I
forgot about that.
No, 100%. We start to arrive at like a stacking of issues, right? And the stacking of issues at that point is when we talk about the parliamentary style system, is you have people there who again they're going after power. They're not there because they fucking believe in anything. They're not good people. They're there because they fucking want power. So that's where you identify another issue within that. You know what I'm saying? That again, I don't disagree with you, and that's when it becomes to me very
difficult,
unrealistic, you know, because you're in the current system, the way that it is with all of the money and the coercion and the deception that it involves, that there's so few people, and we talked about again in the review preview, so few people that can make it through that system untainted to the end, that they could be someone that could do something respectable when they've achieved that position. And if we're talking about, like Joseph is talking about, we need better people that we can trust in there. And do you think you can really find 435 people, 550 people? Because we need a bigger house, right? That Joseph's argument to do. And I'm not coming down here, Joseph, because we're thought experiments here. But if that's the argument, you really think that we can find 550 people that can make it through the current system the way that it's set up now and still have all of their morals and all of their scruples intact so they can come together collectively at the end as individuals to get something done for the people? That's where I struggle. And it's not like I don't think that there's 600 people in the country who have morals and scruples that aren't taintable, you know? But I don't... They have to make it through this current election system. They have to make it through that current party system. So there's so much involved in remaking that system. Take the party off the ballot. Know who you're voting for and not what you could.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that like that the diversity of opinion has to be represented, not the parties. There was only an example of a European parliamentary style system because that's how those things are. That there's still the two parties, but the different groups, caucuses, if like you said, in those parties. That's why those things don't work, because they're still ruled by the two-party system. There is an actual diversity of thought represented in that government. It's still the two different parties, the Conservatives and the Tories, that are still going after it, even though there's parties underneath them. You have to have actual diversity of representation, diversity of opinion for that to work.
Yeah. And
I think.
And every one of those, regardless of how small, every one of those, we'll just keep it in caucuses at that point. Every caucus would need an equal platform to be able to voice their ideas to the whole body at that point. Everybody would need equal time, and they would be needed, their ideas would be needed to be taken equally, with equal respect, and, you know, which we just don't have in our deliberative body. You know, I do like the idea of the UK's version of Parliament, because I think Robin Williams made the joke at one point, like the British Parliament is like the US Congress, but with a 2-drink minimum, and all they do is sit there and yell at each other, which, if you've watched it before, you could watch them on YouTube and stuff like that. It's fucking hilarious, man. They cut on each other like real hard, just directly. They will just call each other names. I mean, it is a fascinating thing to watch. But I like the idea that Joe's saying, if you were to remove the party affiliation, at least from the ballot, if you remove the party affiliation from the ballot and they would secretly be a Democrat or a Republican, I could get behind that, because then the voters, I bet you if you did that, the amount of people that actually voted would drop dramatically, because people don't have the option of doing a D or an R down ballot. They would actually have to look at the people And I don't know how many people would be willing to go, yeah, I'm going to vote for just so-and-so because I like their name. So-and-so because I like their name.
A lot more personal responsibility involved in that type of system.
There would be a ton, which I think would diminish the general voting base a great deal because most people at that point would just not be willing to put up the time.
I don't think we should be...
Yeah, which I don't have a...
Fucking good.
I can't disagree with that at all, man. I like that if we're going to try to find a way... Because I think it's more important than ever at this point in time to be looking at possible solutions for not dissolving the entire governmental body, because with the governmental body goes our entire society. If we're going to be looking at some ways to be able to save it, that is a realistic way you could start. It's realistic, and it would cost no money to do that. Would cost zero money to do that. Everything else would stay the same. All the processes would stay the same. You just don't put as much ink on the paper.
Yeah.
Done. Who knows? And then if you're out there, if these people are out there campaigning, if Tiffany Smiley's out there campaigning, she can say she's a Republican on the trail. But on the ballot itself, for those uninformed voters, the people that are low information, if you will, if they're not paying attention to anything, all they do is get their ballot in the mail or go into the box, and then they just, I'm a Democrat, so boom, boom, boom. I'm a Republican, so boom, boom, boom. You kind of mitigate some of that. All the people that are following these people, supporting their campaigns, hearing about it on the media or whatever it is, they're still going to know whether they're Democrat or Republican or Libertarian or Independent or whatever. But where it actually matters at the ballot box, that would solve a lot of issues. I think that's a very interesting concept. Shout out Joseph, coming in here with some heat, bro.
I love you guys.
I'm into it.
Sorry, I'm just paying the sticker man.
The sticker man.
Yeah, and we'll tell everyone this. We are ordering some stickers, sticker man. So I'm listening to you. I swear to God, I gotta fucking find them.
You're double alpha brain, bro. You're listening like to 8 different things.
Yeah, and it's been a whole fucking deal. And I've been talking to this guy on Instagram, so I don't have his phone number. And Venmo's like, oh, you should give us the last 4 digits of his phone number first, so we know the year. Fuck you. Just give the man the money and so he can give me my fucking stickers. So we're going to have some real nice vinyls, some nice vinyl stickers coming up. Yeah, we've got some right there.
I'm going to try to do this here real quick.
Yeah, no, 100%. They're just like those ones. Colin is going to show you guys these vinyl stickers. We're ordering some up, so we're going to have a bunch here. If you guys want some, $5 hairs. Send me $5 hairs. I'll mail you one in an envelope. How about that?
$5 hairs.
That's it. So, representatives should run on. Those are the stickers, those vinyls right there. Nice. They're excellent. Colin has one on his computer. I got one on my truck. Colin has one in his truck. I got one on like a water bottle. They stick good. They're on a lot of shit. I might have one on my laptop.
Yeah, man, I've taken those things on multiple hunting trips.
Yes.
And they've been scratched up 3 ways from Wednesday. Yes. Lots of weather.
Vinyls.
It's all been good.
Y'all want vinyls? We got fucking vinyls out here.
Vinyls where it's at.
And we'll have
vinyl and neoprene. Those are the 2 most key things in my life. Hey everybody, Colin here from Salt the Streets. Thank you for watching today's edition of Salty Shortz. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to check out the full episode right here on the Salt of the Streets YouTube channel. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this with all your friends. And you too can become a spreader of the message of liberty. Thanks. Welcome to the Salt of the Streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything.